Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, January 17th, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. The Flagler Health Department's COVID-19 testing site near the Flagler Executive Airport has been busy. Amy Cherry reports.
Gretchen Smith is the department's public information officer.
We tested about 700 people, so that's just for our drive-through operations at the airport. Now, we're only testing from 8 a.m. until 12, and it is by appointment only.
Smith tells WNZF as many as 60 people didn't show up for their appointments last week.
Either people are getting their own tests, they're finding rapid tests, which is kind of a hard thing to do right now, or they're just sick and staying home.
She offers this advice if you're sick and believe you have COVID-19.
If you have all the symptoms, it probably doesn't make sense to get tested. Just stay home, lay low, wait until 5 days, and then see how you're feeling on day 6. Isolate, treat your symptoms, and just stay out of other people's way. It is so contagious.
Testing at the airport resumes tomorrow after closing today for Martin Luther King Day. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
A traffic stop in Bunnell turns into a drug bust. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says his deputies handcuffed 34-year-old Angel Farmer of Bunnell Wednesday night. After they saw her leaving a home they'd been watching for suspected drug activity.
Deputies conducted a traffic stop for a traffic violation after they observed the vehicle leaving a known residence in western Flagler County known for illegal narcotics. The vehicle initially failed to stop and then finally did, and the driver appeared very nervous. During the traffic stop investigation, deputies discovered 2 digital scales that had small white crystals on the scale that tested positive for methamphetamine. During the investigation, deputies seized 6.9 grams of methamphetamine and 1 gram of cocaine, along with 2.2 additional grams of methamphetamine found in another area of the car.
Farmer faces charges of drug possession, possession of meth with intent to distribute, resisting arrest, and driving with a suspended license. Staley adds deputies are quite familiar with Farmer.
This is not her first encounter with law enforcement. Her rap sheet dates back to 2010 and includes more than a dozen felony and misdemeanor charges. It's time for this drug dealer to end her poison peddling and face some serious time in jail.
Flagler County's Emergency Management Director is recognized for his public service. Rich Petchke has the story.
Jonathan Lord is given the Gary Arnold Award for dedicated, unselfish, and enthusiastic service to improving the emergency management community. Lord says he is humbled.
I was nominated without my knowledge, which is very, very touching, actually. It was very touching that I was nominated in the first place, and even the act of being nominated means the world to me. I love what I do. I love emergency management. I think that we have a great, amazing team here in Flagler County that allows me to continue to grow our program and protect our community.
Lord says he'd like to see the emergency management director teamwork that resulted from COVID-19 applied to all disasters.
When big disasters happen, they're not always directly only here in Flagler County. Sometimes they may not be here at all, like a hurricane somewhere else in the state, or the fact that, COVID hit every county. And one of the reasons they nominated me is because of what I had led the emergency management directors to problem solve together. I kind of realized I'm asking the same questions a bunch of other county emergency management directors are asking. And instead of us all asking the 50 questions of 25, 50 different people, maybe we could get together and we can try to help problem solve together. Just because I found a solution doesn't mean it will only work in Flagler. The ability to share that with our peers and other around the state were great.
Lord will receive his award next month. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
Palm Coast wants to hear from its citizens. Karen Johnson explains.
City of Palm Coast residents are invited to have their voice heard on what they would like the future of Palm Coast to look like by taking the 2022 National Citizen Survey through January 21st. Palm Coast Mayor David Alfin says this is your opportunity to have your voice heard on what the future of Palm Coast will look like.
So it's important for the citizens of Palm Coast to understand 2 things about the Citizens Survey. It's actually called a scientific survey because it's very similar to a political polling or, quite honestly, to media ratings. And those polls are extremely accurate. They're based on statistical and scientific analysis. The reason they're important to the city, this is the input that City Council uses to understand a complete cross-section of the citizens of the city to know what the citizens want. It's not what City Council members want. It's their representation of what the citizens of Palm Coast are asking for. What they like, what they don't like, what they want to see happen, what they don't want to see happen. The survey gets us halfway to that answer. Then the SAP process of our interviews with city staff get us to the finish line.
Survey topics include city services such as stormwater drainage, street maintenance, garbage, recycling, and street lights, along with recreational programs, events, and amenities such as parks and trails. Responses received from residents will be presented to the Palm Coast City Council at a business meeting scheduled for March 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. To participate in the survey, go to polco.us/PalmCoast2021. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
At the request of Sheriff Rick Staley, the Florida Sheriff's Association's Criminal Apprehension Assistance Program is adding up to an additional $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest of the killer of 16-year-old Noah Smith that occurred last Wednesday night in Bunnell. Previously, Crime Stoppers of Northeast Florida offered a reward of up to $5,000. This combined reward is now up to $10,000 and would go to the person whose tip leads to an arrest involving the death of the Bunnell teen. If you have any information which could help in the investigation, contact the Flagler County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. Email tips@flaglersheriff.com or call 888-277-TIPS. When do you qualify for a homestead exemption?
Flagler property appraiser Jay Gardner says it doesn't happen until you are here in Florida permanently.
And that would mean that you're living here on the January 1st, for example, 22, you just moved in, you're here prior to that date. You've changed your identifiers, your driver's license, your vehicle registration, and of course your voting rights if you vote.
Gardner reminds that if you live here and you vote somewhere else, that's voter fraud for your homestead.
But you don't want to vote somewhere else or we'll get you.
Real Estate Matters is on the radio every Saturday morning at 11 and on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, Gardner talks about how to apply for homestead. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.